Okay, welcome back for another video here today. Today we're going to talk about the next Galactic Legend, and I don't mean Jedi Master Kenobi. So Jedi Master Kenobi, as I'm recording this video anyway, is coming out, shortly. What time is it? Look at the clock here. Okay, so if it's on time, it should be coming out 5 minutes ago, I think, actually. And we did a cool little video of it here. I've muted it hopefully so I don't get pinged for using Star Wars music. But he looks brilliant, of course. He looks brilliant in terms of artwork. His abilities look really cool. You can see that his story has got moments that you really want to play. Awesome bits from episode 3 especially. Not really sure what that bit is. I suppose that's Order 66, but I don't know. I haven't got the character, so I wouldn't know. And of course, he's got the high ground here. This is it's over Anakin moment, which is oh look at that. He's even going to do that bit there. Someday I'll get him as a character, but I'm not here to talk about him today, to be honest. Even though he is a great character and he's a lot of fun. Actually, it's more about the next Galactic Legend, because that's when we say the next one. We're actually talking about the one that's coming. Hopefully, it's going to be announced in the next couple of weeks, I suppose. But most people think it is some version of Anakin, so the counterpart to Jedi Master Kenobi. Now, I'm not 100% sold on this. I'm mostly sold, but not 100%. There are a couple of little things that maybe say it's not him. But one of the most, I guess, telling things is actually in this forum post here from the Star Wars Galaxy Heroes forum, where they talk about his ability, I will do what I must, which pays homage to the duel between him and Lord Vader. Now, they have actually mentioned Lord Vader as a term for the fallen Anakin, in inverted commas, once before, actually, about a year ago, when they were talking about what Galactic Legends might come next after they released Rey and Kylo. And someone said, are you thinking of doing a fallen Anakin Galactic Legend? I should probably dig up the post, but hard to find these things quickly. But in the answer to the question was, we're not going to do a fallen Anakin because fallen Anakin to us doesn't exist. Actually, as soon as he saves Chancellor Palpatine / Emperor Palpatine from Mace Windu, he actually dubs him Lord Vader or Darth Vader at that point there. So they kind of specified already at that point that it was going to be Lord Vader, who was the name of any version of Anakin at that point in the game. However, I guess what we are really interested in is what that might mean for the game. So a lot of people have been speculating on two things, I guess. One is what characters you might require to unlock him, and the other is what characters he might synergize with. Because if you think about it, in the film in episode 3, he becomes Lord Vader about 2/3 of the way through. I don't know the exact time, but about 2/3 of the way through. And by the end of the film, he's become Darth Vader, so to speak, in the whole suit, of the iconic suit that we all know and love as a villain. And in fact, that version of Darth Vader then appears in season 7 of the Clone Wars, and of course in season 2 of Star Wars Rebels. So they've kind of specified already that they're thinking fallen Anakin / Lord Vader, however you want to call him, is going to be that version of Anakin pre-Mustafar, or pre-burning at any rate. And I guess the interesting thing I have is what characters actually would synergize with him, because a lot of people speculate he would be a Sith, which is probably fair. All of other people have speculated he would be an Empire character, because it's the start of the Galactic Empire, literally kind of like similar-ish point in the film where the Emperor goes, we will form our first Galactic Empire or some such like that. So if we just go to the characters for a second with our wonderful new UI section, as I said, there are two possible things that people have speculated on, which is one is the Empire. Now the Empire, and you have to excuse my Empire faction, for the most part is trash, because I just never leveled them. You can see I just don't care for them very much. But anyway, ignoring the ability levels of most of the Empire characters that I have, an Empire team usually consists of something like Vader, Thrawn, and then see, it's a bit difficult because you've got your Imperial Trooper team, but if you're going for just purely best Empire team, I guess you could have Palpatine, maybe Tarkin, maybe Piet, probe droid shore troopers, the most common tank people use. And then some people are thrown in either Dark Trooper or Gideon nowadays because they're both excellent characters. But it's not a very fixed down lineup. There are 3 or 4 really, really, really good Imperial characters in Palpatine, Vader, Thrawn, and Piet. And to be honest, most people dislike Palpatine after a certain point in the game. He kind of gets outscaled by other characters that you can possibly level. But there's not really a super killer team, excluding Darth Vader and Thrawn, right? So a lot of people speculate that he could be an Empire character, and then you'd have him synergizing with these guys in some way, which I think is a little weird because personally, Darth Vader synergizing with Lord Vader seems a bit silly. But, I guess it's okay. We see Kenobi and Kenobi often, and we see Kylo Ren with Kylo Ren quite a lot, so I guess it's not the end of the world. But in terms of a lore thing, to me that doesn't seem to work very well because he doesn't actually do anything with Imperials. The second group people have speculated on, as I was saying before, and you have to excuse the mouse that clicks a lot because unfortunately got one of those really old-fashioned clicky bits, are the Sith. So again, the Sith, we've got the same 2 Sith at the top here, Palpatine and Vader, but we've got Darth Revan. So Darth Revan is usually either his own team, so Darth Revan, Darth Malak, Bastila Shan, HK-47, and something like Sith Empire Trooper, or Sith Assassin, something like that. Though my Sith Assassin is terrible, so I use Sith Trooper and best, and even he is a bit of a red shirt. But either way, you kind of have that Darth Revan lineup. The other possibility, of course, is you have Sith Eternal Emperor Palpatine. So you have, like, often I've seen teams when I'm going up in Arena, we've got teams like Vader, Revan, Malak, and Darth Treya, something like that. Or sometimes you take out Revan and you put in, I've seen Nihilus a few times, I've seen Wat Tambor a few times, of course, from the Separatists. But again, it's kind of like if to me, if Lord Vader, Fallen Anakin, is a Sith, then surely he's going to just sequester all the best Sith from Sith Eternal Emperor Palpatine. Because then what was Palpatine going to do for his team? Because if you're taking out Vader and Revan and Malak, maybe Darth Treya or Nihilus, people like that for your Fallen Anakin team, your Sith Eternal Emperor Palpatine team suddenly becomes a one-man solo affair against Jedi, which he does, to be fair, pretty well, and I've seen that plenty of times before, but it becomes a not clear situation. What are you going to do, right? So I guess what I'm speculating on is a third possible route, and that's based on the film itself, which is actually Clone Troopers. So again, excuse my clones are pretty average, and certainly the Bad Batch, I've not even collected the Bad Batch past the marquee events, even though they're amazing, and that is clones for a reason, because in episode 3 there is that sequence where they go to the Jedi Temple and he has clones with him, and that's before Emperor Palpatine announces the Galactic Empire. So to me, there is a really good chance that actually what they will do is make Lord Vader, Fallen Anakin, one or both of those guys, one or the other. They will make him work with clones because, of course, he used clones to storm the Jedi Temple, and they go. You see the whole videos when Obi-Wan Kenobi's looking at the records, and he's like, "The records must not be complete." You see him looking at the shots and the videos of Anakin with clone troopers shooting down different people. Of course, the other thing you see in the same sequence is clone troopers then also removing Senator. Oh no, I've forgotten his name. It's completely blanking. Jimmy Smits, the actor. Oh, I'm sure it'll come to me in a different video. Wow, completely blanking on the senator from Alderaan. Bail Organa. There we go. Senator Organa. There we go. Jimmy Smits, though, for sure. So the bit with Jimmy Smits where he comes and tries to jump in, and he sees, I think it's a teenage Jedi, if I remember rightly, trying to escape, get shot down by a whole bunch of clones. The clones are like, nothing to see here, move along, citizen, or something along those lines. So I could easily imagine, and I think this is what they're probably going to go for actually, is Lord Vader being a clone version, a clone synergizing character, because that to me makes an awful lot of sense. Now, one could argue that Five's Rex certainly are not around for different reasons at that point in the storyline, I'm not going to explain why, just in case anyone has not seen the different bits where these two characters drop out of the stories and then drop back in later on, and depending on what they're doing. But certainly you can imagine ARC Trooper, Clone Sergeant, you can imagine Cody, because he's still alive as far as I can tell, unless they do something in the Bad Batch TV series with him. Echo, I'm pretty sure Echo is still alive as well. I mean, maybe someone can correct me on Echo, but pretty sure Echo is still alive, and also a villain, so to speak. The Bad Batch we haven't really seen fully through to the end, of course, but they might release by the TV series the fifth member of the Bad Batch, who Crosshairs, who of course could also synergize with these guys, as being a sort of a clone trooper that is going along with Order 66. But I think more than likely we're going to get a clone trooper synergizing Lord Vader. Maybe, there we go. That is a hot take that people will probably disagree with massively. As for characters that I think will be required to unlock him, and it's like way before anybody else is like saying anything, I think, well, firstly we can go for some of the Galactic Republic. So you're going to probably see, so we've already got some in the Kenobi event, but I can easily imagine Padme and General Skywalker, these two, being required for that event. I can easily see Ahsoka or Commander Ahsoka Tano, the new one, who of course no one has unlocked yet, being required for that. I could easily see Rex, because Rex and Anakin spent so much time together throughout all the Clone Wars TV series, being together. And I can actually see R2-D2. So R2, if you watch it, R2 actually goes with Anakin pretty much in every single episode of the Clone Wars TV series. He goes with Anakin through episode 1. He goes to Anakin with episode 2. He goes to Anakin in episode 3. And he even sees him at the end of episode 3 just before he gets burned on Mustafar. So I could easily see them using R2-D2 as another character for that. In terms of like hard to get characters, they could include Mace Windu, of course, that would be kind of an amusing drop in, putting Mace Windu in there. They could include someone really silly like Jedi Consular, because of course if you think about it, or Jedi Guardian, because of course when he storms the temple he goes around killing people. I could easily see him having to do that, just to try and find someone who people don't level up, don't give up very easily. As for some other characters, I could easily see as well, if I go down to Sith, I could easily see Count Dooku, because in episode 3 of course you have that fight sequence between Anakin and Count Dooku. Even in episode 2 you have that same fight sequence. I could easily see Count Dooku being used as a character. And likewise, I could easily see them releasing a new version of, well, I'm going to say Sidious. So I'm pretty sure you could see a version of Chancellor Palpatine or something like that, some Clone Wars version that is required to help him, because of course Darth Sidious is required for Sith Eternal Emperor Palpatine. Palpatine is required for Kylo Ren. So I could see them making another version specifically of a new character to do that with the unlock. The last thing is ships, and of course ships has always been a requirement for Galactic Legend. And for this one I think that they'll be a bit meaner. So they'll do one of two things. I think they'll either use the Malevolence. The Malevolence, he fights against the Malevolence in season 1 of the Clone Wars. So I could see that really easily. Very possible for that. Or if they don't use that, I suppose they could, if they're being really nice. If they're really nice, they could use somebody. They could literally use either Anakin's Eta 2 ship. They could use Darth Vader's ship. I imagine Eta 2 would be more sensible. But you already need this one for a different event. So I don't think they would use this one. I think the Malevolence is the most likely. I can't see many really easy ships that they will put in. Unless they release another ship, of course, specifically for this event. Entirely possible. The last thing I would say is, of characters I don't have, I'm going to flick this back to Galactic Republic. I think they will throw in one super oddball character, and that'll probably be Ki-Adi-Mundi. I bet they throw in Ki-Adi-Mundi, almost certainly. They're throwing in Wat Tambor for Jedi Master Kenobi. They'll throw in Ki-Adi-Mundi for this one, just because they've already prepared you for how you need to get it through territory battles on Geonosis with Wat Tambor. Now they're going to push in Ki-Adi-Mundi, and because they're giving you an extra probably 3 months from now, before they release this character, they're probably going to say, okay, well, you've got the time now, because of course dark side territory battles and light side territory battles came out some months apart from each other, because the light side was significantly harder and still is significantly harder. I can easily see them putting in Ki-Adi-Mundi, but bringing it right farther forwards in the future, so you have the time to get him, hopefully. But there you go. That's what I think. I'm pretty certain it's going to be Lord Vader now. Pretty certain some of those are the characters. I'm pretty certain actually that it's going to be a clone synergizing character. But you know what? If you disagree, or even if you agree, you know, let me know in the comment down below. Feel free to like the video if you like it and if it's interesting. And I will catch you guys all next time, where no doubt we'll be doing something equally exciting in the galaxy.